What's up guys, it's Crayfish Obsession here, and today we'll be taking a look at two gross crayfish I just got, and you get to see them mate, and I'm also doing a little sexing video, so stay tuned for that. This is what she looks like out of water, and I'll show you how to identify this female. So the first thing you want to know is that in females, their claws are going to be a lot smaller in proportion to their bodies. Not a lot smaller, but it's going to be noticeable. I guess this is for maybe they just don't need to fight as much. But yeah, female Procambarus Clarkii have smaller claws in relation to their body compared. She loves to bolt. Anytime you even touch her, she will bolt everywhere. She loves bolting. If there's one thing she likes to do, it's bolting. Yeah. She's a female ghost crayfish. I'm not gonna mess with her anymore. But she's big and she likes to move around the substrate. And if you're thinking the tank is really dirty, it's because she just completely destroyed a Java fern, and what you're seeing in the water is the corpse and what is left of the Java fern. Obviously, that's right there. But she is a destroyer. There was some moss in this tank. She destroyed that too. She ate it all up, and the filter is having a pretty difficult time dealing with her destruction of the tank. So, I mean, they call a crayfish Cherax destructor, but this is the real destroyer here. Right here, this girl. We name her, and also, she is the most scared and angry. She has the best personality of all the crayfish. She's always trying to fight me like any other crayfish, but she has great reactions. Now, let me get the crayfish poking stick. She is crazy about bolting. She loves, oh god, look at how many shits she took. That's a lot of shits. I need to clean that up. But, yeah, as you can see, you can't see her right now, but let me bring it up. What's up guys, it's Crayfish Obsession here, and today we're going to be taking a look at some really cool crayfish. So I have received two ghost crayfish, and these guys are really beautiful crayfish. And this is the female. The female is bigger. This has nothing to do with their biology, it's just that the female is obviously older. And the male was a bit small, but I like the male's coloration a lot more. These guys are Procambarus Clarkii. They're just color morph variants, and they're really cool. The female is a monster. She ate an entire fish just now, completely destroyed the Java fern. You can see it now. Hold on, let me move the camera over. Remember when that Java fern was actually a plant? Now it is just, I don't even know what she did to it. There was also some moss, if you were keeping up with any of the crayfish updates. That moss is completely gone into her mouth. In terms of, I did do an illness check, and she's got a couple small spots of shell rot. Very small, very early stage, so it should be alright. She should be fine. And I was gonna film, and look at her. Look at her back. You can actually see some purple and some blue coming out of the back right there, so I think that's pretty good. She's a bit too red for me. I really like her tail, but there's not enough white, so it kind of looks generic, but I still think she's pretty good coloration wise. What's up guys, it's Crayfish Obsession here, and today we are going to be taking a look at the newest additions to the crayfish crew. Now if you're wondering what I have them in, I kind of have them in this mock setup for now. This is super temporary, but it's inside a cookie bin, and there is a filter. So anyone who's like, oh, you can't put a crayfish in a container, this is filtered water. The tank is actually technically cycled because this gravel is used from the cycle tank here. So it is technically cycled, and the filter itself is also cycled. This is a very small tank. I wouldn't recommend actually using this for anything as a long-term setup. I'm just waiting for him to grow up and actually need his own tank. But yeah, so basically I just have the filter coming out here. I have one of those Tetra mini filters, which I know in my past video I don't like these kind of filters for crayfish. I wouldn't recommend them, but it's kind of the only thing I can fit in here right now. And yeah, and it's also harder for him to climb or anything. I might actually switch out this power filter for a sponge filter. But right now it's working fine and the water is super clean. But the container itself is pretty blurry, so let's take him out and take a closer look at him. Yeah, he is super laid back. He is okay with anything. Maybe that's just with his age. But he's super laid back. He's probably the most laid back crayfish I've ever had. He's so chill. This is the male under closer inspection. You can see him, and now you can tell why I like him more. His carapace has some white on it, which I love. I'm digging that. He is trying to dig the plastic, which he obviously will not succeed in. But we can take a better look at him. Obviously, his coloration is pretty good. He's also got some purple. I'm loving the triangle on the white. His tail reminds me of a koi fish. I love it. His tail also has some purple on it. It's really great. I think I like this guy a lot more than her. But we need names for these guys, so leave them in the comments. Male and or female and male. And if you're wondering how to sex Procambarus Clarkii Crayfish or anything of the Procambarus species, I'll show you. But you have to remember that don't use this for all crayfish. Crayfish of the Charax genus have different things you have to look for and are harder to sex. Procambarus genus crayfish are a lot easier to sex because they're very obvious. This is the male, and this is how I usually hold a crayfish when I sex it. This way the claws are completely neutralized. There's no way it can get me. He's really docile and he's okay with being handled. He doesn't like squirm around everywhere. And oh, he's starting to squirm, but that's how I usually hold them. But to sex them, as you can see here, these two appendages here on the bottom are used to grasp onto the female. So this is how I check if it's a male. Also, the tail will be skinnier than the female because the female has to hold the brood under the tail. On the male, it's going to be a lot skinnier. And the claws are also important. The claws in males are usually a lot longer in proportion to their body. As you can see on the female right there, claws are a bit smaller. That's just a male thing, as you can see on Curious here. Also, his claws are also fairly large. And that's just a male thing. I'm not sure how hard he actually pinches. Yeah, he's pretty docile. He doesn't really like pinching. He's super shy, and he never really fights back. But yeah, so this is how you tell he's a male. Now let me get the female out. I'm kind of worried about the female. She is gonna fight back. Now for the anatomy check. As you can see, she does not have those two grasping legs like the male does. She's missing a leg here, which is a bit of shell rot on it. But as you can see, there's also this thing in between the other leg. She's trying to push her arm down, but as you can see, this kind of hole or plug looking thing is where her eggs will come out of. Also, her tail is going to be a lot wider. You'll probably be able to notice it in the I'll just put it back in the tank. Alright, I usually drop aggressive crayfish back in the tank because they can be scary when you put them in the water. But as you can see, her tail is a lot wider, and that is so she can carry the brood. And that's kind of a quick video on how to sex them, along with my introducing Ghost Crayfish video. This is Crayfish Obsession. These are my new Ghost Crayfish. They look pretty cool, and they need names. So comment down below on what their names need to be, and I'll see you guys in the next one.